Wonderful. So thank you, everyone. I know it's been already a lot in the past couple of days, so I'm going to keep this quick and hopefully very impactful for you. My name is Laura Montoya. I am associated with all of these different companies. I won't go into detail how right now because we don't have the time, but please reach out to me online. You can get in contact with me through Twitter, LinkedIn, my website, email, and so on. Please connect. I would love to talk to you. So before we start out a conversation about ethics, I have to premise this with, of course, something to make you think. And so I want to ask you this question specifically, if I can see a show of hands here. Can you please raise your hand if you agree with this statement? I think harming animals is bad. Okay, great. So that's basically everyone in the room. Now, another show of hands for the people in here that are vegetarians. I see 3 people, okay. And how about for those that eat meat, that always only consume ethically sourced, all organic, naturally raised animal products? Okay, so maybe about 5 people. So the reason why I asked this question, I know it doesn't have anything to do with artificial intelligence, but the biggest problem with artificial intelligence is value alignment. And if 90% of the people in this room obviously have just admitted that they personally do not stick that closely to their own values, such as when you say a statement that says, I think harming animals is bad, how can you expect the products that we create to also represent values that you don't necessarily stick by yourself? So let's go a little bit deeper into ethics and AI. And the reason why this is such a big topic and of such importance is because AI algorithms spread more quickly than any other type of technology, evolve much faster, almost at the speed of light, and they lack transparency in design and outcomes. So because of this, we have to understand this technology so much more. These are some of the top ethical issues in AI technology today. I even saw an article from the World Economic Forum specifically that laid out 90% of these. We're going to go into a couple of these today specifically, but really it's just the tip of the iceberg. 10 minutes is not enough time to really cover all of this material. One of the main issues with artificial intelligence is unemployment, right? We have these industries that have been developed and reinventing over and over again, but this is not new, right? You have the automatic weave and the automobile. When they were first invented, this was a huge problem in industry. People were concerned about losing their jobs, right? That has not changed today, okay? AI in manufacturing, these automated self-driving cars, this is not a new idea, a new concept, or a new problem that we're dealing with. These questions, these concerns have been around for a very long time. So let's talk about AI economics a little bit. Why do people want to automate things? What is the drive to do this work? Well, of course, automation improves efficiency, right? You increase the processes, you're reducing your costs, you're driving production. Who wouldn't want that in their own job, for their own company? And in fact, 57% of jobs are potentially automatable. This is according to an Oxford University 2014 study. It may have been updated recently, but if you think about that, and you think about your work, how much of what you do every day can be broken down into small, repeatable steps? How much of what you do can potentially be automatable? How much is monotonous and boring work? And on the other hand, how much of what you do specifically involves creativity, right? And real thought-provoking intelligence and problem solving. But again, this is not a new problem. History has shown in past industrial revolutions, when new technology has come in and upset industries such as agriculture, it's also created new jobs, right? So what jobs are safe? Technology professionals, creatives, managers and executives, care providers. This is a McKinsey Global Institute study. The jobs that you have to be most concerned about: office support, predictable physical work, but also lawyers, right? Doctors. And I'm not saying that we're going to take over their entire profession, but a lot of the work that they do today can be automated. The real problem here is inequality. Marginalized groups will suffer more. And why is that? If you look over here, the probability of automation by race, okay? Black people, Hispanic people, the jobs that they're doing today have a higher percent likelihood of automation potential. And if you even just look here in San Francisco, the amount of money that these individuals make, their household income is much, much lower, right, than the other races. So the people that are most likely to be replaced are the people that currently make the least amount of money. And that income gap is going to continue to increase, especially because the people that are creating this technology, the people that own the companies that are going to gain the most wealth that's being developed, are the same people that are already making the most money and that has less of their job that's potentially automatable. This is the real problem. Now, everyone says, but UBI is coming. Universal basic income will save us. Will it though? Because Finland just tried this. They tried it for 2 years, and then they stopped. And one of the main reasons why they stopped this experiment is because the most wealthy, those in government and in power, they decided they didn't want to be giving away free money to people who were going to be lazy and not do anything good with it. So just because you give people more money does not mean you're going to change the impressions of those that are on top, those that have the power, right, to make change. So the next major issue in AI and ethics is bias. And I don't have to tell you what algorithmic bias is. I'm sure you guys have heard. But where does this bias come from? And what harm could these biases cause? These are the major issues with algorithmic bias today. Stereotyping, recognition, denigration, underrepresentation, and misclassification. Let's go into a little more detail. Stereotyping. What happens when a word-to-vec algorithm says to us that man is to computer as woman is to homemaker? What happens when a little girl asks Amazon Alexa, what can I be when I grow up? And this is the answer that algorithm tells her. That is a problem. Or facial recognition, right? Most of you probably know Joy Buolamwini, amazing researcher, okay, who literally had to put a white mask over her black face for most facial recognition algorithms to even see her, right? Or these people over here, Nikon, consistently misclassifying Korean individuals, asking them if they blinked, okay? That's a problem. Denigration, right? And the problem here isn't that the companies are bad or that the technology is inherently racist, right? The problem is our social biases get embedded into these systems and continue to perpetuate these problems. Underrepresentation, right? The first female CEO in a Google image search should not be CEO Barbie. That's a problem. And classification. What do you do when the way you classify people today is no longer right for the way you have to classify people of tomorrow, right? In the census, you only get 2 choices, male or female, right? Facebook, there's now 64 options that you can choose. So I'm going to leave you with that. Could you be a victim of algorithmic bias? The answer is yes. Every single one of us in this room. Now, I only went over 3 of the main ethical issues of artificial intelligence technology. Normally, I give a 2-hour talk, so I have plenty more slides, but I want to leave you with that. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Laura.